Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's GTA 5 video, we're going to be talking about 12 things that noobs do in Grand Theft Auto Online. Now, you might consider me a noob. I do some pretty noobish themes, so I'm definitely not excluded from some of the things on this list, but I thought this would be a pretty funny topic to discuss, and if you have some of your own things you would like to contribute as well, things you think noobs doing online, let us know in the comments section down below. But without the way, let's not waste any more time and let's get it started. All right, so do you guys recognize this sound right here? So that's the sound of a smoke alarm being either out of batteries or low batteries. And the way Grand Theft Auto Online works, because there's no proximity chat, you can hear anyone from across the map. And it seems like every noob always has their microphone on, and they always have a smoke alarm that you can hear constantly beeping in the background every 15 seconds. It's incredibly annoying. Now, it's easy to mute one noob, but when you have an army of noobs in one lobby that all have missing smoke detector batteries, it becomes pretty obnoxious when you hear beep, 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 beep over and over and over again. Why do people not have batteries to change their smoke detectors? Number one, that's a safety hazard. But number two, how are you even comfortable listening to that? That's got to be so obnoxious. Number two, they always seem to be asking for money drops. This is especially prevalent on the PC. If you go to a PC lobby, half the chat on the side of the screen is going to be filled with, does anyone have money? Is there a modder in here? Does anyone have the ability to drop cash or anything like that? So you will see that a ton in PC lobbies. Noobs are always looking to get money from other players. Not sure that's the safest thing you could do, but when you're a noob and when you're a low level, there's not much you can do without all that money. So to me, or I guess to them, I should say, it might actually end up being worth it. Number three, you always see noobs using the LG. And for good reason. It's a free vehicle. You can get it just for linking your social club account to Grand Theft Auto Online. But one sure sign to see a noob is see them in an LG, and that's all they have, or a garage full of LGs, because it's one of the few vehicles they can actually get by having almost no money. So the LG is actually a really good sports car, but because it's free, it is sort of like the noob's vehicle of choice. There are a lot of other more expensive sports cars that have been added, but the LG at the end of the day is still pretty competitive, which is kind of cool. So you do see a lot of noobs rocking the LG. Number four, they underestimate Grove Street. If you go to Grove Street or any of the gang hideouts and think you can just roll up there and own the place, you are going to be sorely mistaken, especially with your low-level health and low-level weapons and armor. You are going to get wrecked by the inhabitants of someone like Grove Street, or where the Ballas hang out, where the families hang out, where the Vagos. So don't try and roll up on Grove Street. You see noobs do this all the time, and they totally get their floor wiped by just the NPCs there, because there's like 18 of them that all converge on them at once and just completely wreck them. It's a really funny sight to see. I've definitely done that once or twice before, and it's just so overwhelming. Speaking of underestimating things, you underestimate the store clerk. So that is like one of the noobs' ways to make money. They go into the convenience store, they rob it, but sometimes the clerks strike back. And in many cases, if you turn your back on them, what they'll actually do is they will pull out like a shotgun or a pistol, and they're going to start shooting you, and you'll end up dying and you'll lose some of that money. So obviously, don't underestimate the store clerks in Grand Theft Auto Online. You see noobs do that all the time, where they think they just got away with all that cash, and then they just get shot, and it's just not good at all for them. Number six, noobs try and customize hot vehicles. So if you find something like a Grotti Carbonazzer or a Corvette on the side of the road, what they'll immediately try and do is say, hey, I saw that vehicle on the website for $100,000, for $200,000. Why would I buy it on there when I could just go to the store and customize it, go to the LSC and customize it? They take that vehicle, they drive it to LSC, they get to the front door, and that famous line that says this vehicle is too hot to modify is there. And obviously they are rejected by the LSC and they cannot modify or store that vehicle. I have done that so many times when I was a new player. Like, I would try and test out what vehicles I could get and what vehicles I could bring in, which it was almost never any of the good ones. But I thought that that was pretty funny. And you see noobs trying to do that all the time. Now, building off of that, at the number 7 spot, when noobs finally do get a vehicle inside of the LSC, they find one off the streets, they bring it in, they do all sorts of upgrading and customizing it, they get it just the way they want, but they forget that one important detail of adding insurance on the vehicle. And what they do is they drive around like normal, and then two things happen. Number one, they get their vehicle destroyed either by themselves or by someone else. They drive it into the water or it's killed by someone that's hunting them. And then they go and call Moore's Mutual and there's no vehicle available because they didn't order insurance. Bummer. Or number two, they leave the session because they think everything's all good or they have to go for the day or something like that. So what ends up happening is they leave the session, they come back again another day just to find out that they don't have a vehicle there waiting for them and they wasted all their money. That sucks. I see that all the time. I've actually done that before where I've been collecting rare gang cars and I didn't put any insurance on it and it got blown up. And I was like, where the heck did it go? So even I've done that before. I told you I was a noob. I've done some of these things. Make sure you put insurance on your cars. The number 8 spot, I've seen this far too often. This is noobs trying to use Grand Theft Auto Online to like get a girlfriend. So I experienced this when I was recording a video I did about a month or so ago, which is why it's better to play as a female in Grand Theft Auto Online. One of the things I experienced was players were a whole lot nicer to me. Another thing I experienced is they also tried to hit on me, not knowing who I was, but random guys would just send overly friendly messages trying to either become my girlfriend or an acquaintance of me. I'm really not too sure, but you get some weird messages and noobs seem to think that GTA Online is Tinder, that they can just swipe right on everyone and that they'll eventually hit potluck. I'm really not too sure, but I've seen a ton of that and noobs seem to maybe misunderstand the idea of what GTA Online is actually supposed to be about. Number 9, I think we've all been in this situation. We see a player at a much higher rank. We see they have a really shiny, nice vehicle, like a modified Zentorno or an Adder. And we think to ourselves as the noob, why can't I have that vehicle? So you get in that person's car, you take it to your garage, you get to your front door at the garage, and it doesn't open. And it says you cannot store this vehicle. You obviously can't steal other people's cars right off the road. I did that so many times when I was first playing Grand Theft Auto Online as like a super noob. I would look for other people's nicer cars and think to myself, maybe I can steal this. And it ended up just getting rejected every single time. So no luck for me, but I've seen so many noobs do that. They always try and steal other people's cars and take them back to their own garage. At the number 10 spot, they use the ATM. So this is kind of Rockstar's fault because they do tell you to bank your cash using an ATM, but you can simply do it on your phone a whole lot easier. So don't use the ATMs. Number one, it makes you a sitting duck for other players. The ATM locations are rather odd and awkward to get to, sometimes on the side of buildings, sometimes right basically in the road. So you see noobs using ATMs all the time, and I don't know why. Really, you only see the NPCs using them. Just use your phone. Noobs, don't use the ATMs. You don't have to. At the number 11 spot today, they just follow people around in passive mode. So I think noobs still try and figure out passive mode as they get through the game. I've seen a lot of noobs ask me like, why I can't go in passive mode. I asked them, do you have a bounty on you? That would solve that question right there. But a lot of times what they'll do is they'll follow higher ranked players around in passive mode. Not really doing anything, just following them around like they're looking for a big brother or big sister. And that's always kind of weird because you don't want to tell them off. You can't kill them because they're in passive mode and they're not really doing anything other than just following you around. So it's kind of weird and I don't understand why noobs do that, but they do and it's sort of strange. So if you're a noob and you follow people around in passive mode, maybe you can explain that to me in the comments section down below. All right, and the final thing noobs do at the number 12 spot today, they're just generally dicks to other players that are minding their own business. So I'm not sure if this comes from just the GTA game itself or the rise of other games like PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds or Fortnite, where when you see someone, you want to instantly kill them. But if someone's in like a clothing store or they're minding their own business, noobs always go around and like either wait outside the clothing store or they open the door or they shoot inside and they blow up the clothing store, they kill the person. They're just an inconvenience to that player and the whole lobby because then the clothing store is closed for everyone else. Why noobs want to do that, I have no idea. Again, maybe it comes from like the instinct of see, shoot, kill, like that's programmed into their brain. That I'm not sure, but that right there is 12 things that all noobs do in Grand Theft Auto Online. If you have anything else you want to add to our list today, let us know in the comments section down below. I'd love to hear from you guys down there. Are there some noob things that you do that I didn't mention in this video? Like I said, let us know in the comments down below. If you did go on to enjoy this video though, a like rating would of course be awesome. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new or you like daily GTA 5 videos like this. Without the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.